very good morning to all of you. Justice Madan Lokur, Judge Supreme Court of India, Professor Madhav Menon, my brother colleague Justice Teji, Mr. Raj Librahan, Mr. Rupinder Suri, Mr. Ramji Srinivasan, Mr. Anil Kapoor, Mr. Deepak Kapoor, Ms. Priyanka, and all my learned friends. Right at the outset, I must confess that when Mr. Kapoor met me to invite me for this program, I had very clearly said that I will not give a keynote address. In fact, I was saying I'll give no address at all. And it is when I received an email from a friend in Canada who said, "You have a very busy summer." And when I asked why, and she forwarded me a copy of the invitation, I realized that I had been slated for a keynote address. Actually, I have had a very busy summer in court, on the judicial side as well as on the administrative side. So I must confess that I really haven't had a chance to examine the program which Manupatra has come forth with. I must also confess that though I strongly encourage anything relating to e-technology, but I am pretty ignorant other than knowing what all it can do for us. And while I had started taking lessons from my very efficient librarian in the court, I used to go to court at 9 a.m. every morning to learn the intricacies of traversing the e-technology path. I got foisted with this appointment which I'm currently holding, which has taken, I go to court at 9 o'clock, but my classes have got away. But yet I take a lot of cues and a lot of learnings and a lot of lessons from programs like this. I've just been told by Mr. Ramji Srinivasan, and I will take it up immediately, that the Wi-Fi connectivity in the High Court is really bad. So and nobody had complained so far. We are the only court in the country which takes pride on having introduced e-filing completely in 4 jurisdictions. So if we don't have good e-connectivity, I must apologize to all of you who are practicing in the High Court. But coming back to the few thoughts which I would like to place before you, it is a hard reality that the changing dimensions of the Indian economy and polity, as well as globalization, have resulted in new challenges of governance, as well as for national and international institutions. These have had a profound effect on the future of education in all disciplines, especially in professional education, more so in legal education. It has exposed Indian institutions to the competition posed by international institutions, attracting Indian students for educational opportunities abroad. To my mind, there are certain central issues for formulating necessary policies for education, especially in professional courses. These would include, firstly, creating a better research environment, secondly, developing a sound infrastructure. Additionally, we need to formulate good governance models, ensure creation of better career opportunities, and promote professional advancement of academics as well as professionals. Justice Lokur has said quite a bit upon the essentiality of continuing legal education and the inputs which must go into it. Apart from these factors, there's one more aspect which has a significant impact on all institutions. Voluminous increase in cross-border transactions, simply referred to as globalization, has ensured that India, by virtue of its growing economic importance, is slowly emerging as a melting pot of many crucial legal issues. What cannot be denied is that formal conventional methods of doing business, trade, and therefore education are fast becoming irrelevant. So far as the law is concerned, be it the corporate sector, the contemporary intellectual property debates, environment, or trade-related issues, it is clear that India has a major role to play in structuring and restructuring legal, policy, and regulatory issues at an international level and arena. The role of lawyers, and therefore legal education, has assumed a unique significance. Today, legal educators and practicing lawyers cannot view themselves as separate and must recognize that they are engaged in a common enterprise, which is the education and professional development of the members of the profession. Though functioning in different experiential worlds with different cultures, educators cannot remove themselves from the problems of the professionals and be concerned only with their academic pursuits. Conversely, lawyers cannot be oblivious to the contributions of law schools into development of the professional. A formalized skill curriculum is therefore definitely the need of the day, which describes the fundamental skills and values that every lawyer should acquire before assuming responsibility of handling any legal matter, and translates into descriptions translates descriptions into any formal method. Undoubtedly also, the rule of law remains the single most important challenge faced by the country as well as globally. Role of law schools and developing of good professional lawyers is central to the future of legal education and the development of legal knowledge in India. The importance of this education and development of appropriate skills towards ensuring the rule of law and creating legally trained minds therefore cannot be sufficiently emphasized. The advantage of teaching experienced lawyers as well as continuing legal education for law professionals and refresher programs for teachers enables them to remain current both in theory and practice. To quote an example, some states in the United States have a minimum continuing legal education program which comprises professional education for already qualified attorneys after their initial admission to the bar. They must complete the MCLE to maintain the right to practice law. The fundamental object is that lawyers keep abreast with the latest law and jurisprudence, maintain professional ethics, and enhance the standard and sanctity of the legal profession. Systemic changes are required, therefore, to ensure access to the programs to these professionals, most of them who are occupied with the weight and the demands of the professions. The best complementing medium which enables continuing legal profession, as has been emphasized by Justice Lokur as well today, therefore today is the online platform. Online education affirmatively reduces the age constraint as well as the time constraint for learning and enables individuals across age groups the opportunity to conveniently work on knowledge improvement as well as skill building activities for personal as well as professional applications from anywhere at any time. Online education encompasses learning across formal, informal, and non-formal methods of learning. I joined Justice Lokur, therefore, in volunteering to apply and be part of any online course which Manupatra will permit access to judges. With the headway in information technology in the legal field, online research tools have supplanted the traditional method of carrying out research, which of course was more time-consuming and tedious. Today we see counsels carrying their smartphones and iPads in the courtroom to effortlessly scroll through the entire digitalized court record. The law sought to be argued is saved in the form of judgments, which eliminated the conventional practice of giving a list of books to the courtmaster and carrying the hardbacks. Moreover, they immediately search for precedent based on arguments being advised. It saves a lot of time. This certainly also gives an unmatchable impetus to the concept of continuous learning, which brings us to the core essentiality of today's professional. But I may point out there is one difficulty which I have experienced in court, that the impact of online researching has led to this kind of researching replacing the reading habit amongst professionals who are appearing in our courts, especially youngsters. The youngsters today are in so much of a hurry that to do the online research seems so much easier, and they don't even go make the effort of reading through an entire judgment, because they don't realize, it can be a deadly weapon against you, and you present a judgment based on one sentence cited out of context without reference to the facts of the case, and you can completely lose your case based on such kind of research. So this is something that we really must need to take care of. And when you're emphasizing development of skills, please encourage online reading as well. You have to keep up to date and updated, knowledge of the jurisprudence and the legal developments. We differ when it comes to the understanding of the term global. In a broad sense, globalization would entail meeting of minds on a global platform. What does it mean to be truly global? Does it mean having infrastructure of global standard, or does it include having resources of global standard? Or is it having operational standards similar to the global standard? Does it need any modulation or changes to the educational curriculum, skills and methodology? While there can be no absolute answer to this issue, but an endeavor as the online skill development program of Manupatra can address many such concerns. Since the development of a knowledge economy remains an important goal of both developed and developing countries, establishing educational institutions as well as creating skills of global excellence, including in legal disciplines, has to become the priority of developing countries. India has yet to achieve these priorities. The National Knowledge Commission has made a number of useful and important recommendations deserving serious and urgent attention. However, it cannot be denied that there still remains a gap between the rhetoric of reform and the reality of governance. Development of scholarship and innovation in methodology and skill development has therefore to be emphasized as the core mission of such legal education and continuing legal education, which is to meet the requirements of globalization to ensure institutional excellence. Research cutting across national and spatial boundaries is a priority so that both the creation of knowledge as well as speedy access to it becomes the fundamental objective of higher education. There can be no manner of doubt that this is possible only with the use of e-technology and use of online processes. Corporate practice today requires certain essential skills. The three basic areas includes basic analytics and appreciation of transactions and relevant fields of law. To the best of my information, and I would stand corrected by Professor Madhav Menon, appreciation of transactions or experiential learning is absent in legal education in India. So is legal analysis. We do not have a basic analytics course, and perhaps Manupatra could look at this. A good example to follow is that of the Drexel's Earl Mack School of Law, now known as Thomas R. Klein School of Law. From its inception in 2006, Drexel has taken seriously its challenge to offer legal education and offers a very rigorous foundation in legal analysis and traditional legal doctrine while incorporating a greater exposure to writing, skills training, and experiential learning. It has established a keystone course which is titled Law and Finance of Transactional Lawyering. So undoubtedly Manupatra is going to add to and meet the need to construct a sound institutional foundation on the basis of which intellectual and scholarly abilities of legal scholars can be not only actively promoted but actively encouraged and further developed. Law is a dynamic discipline, and it is necessary that laws and their interpretation change with time and confront the challenges posed by social, economic, and political transformations in the country. Thus, the role of law schools in India alone is not paramount today in forging these changing understandings, but the effort and contribution of organizations as Manupatra is also critical and provides a vital input to this. To conclude, law undoubtedly has a global language as well as content, so as to develop and continue to grow as legal practitioners who meet international levels. The country does not need or deserve any standard less than global standards. Curriculum content, methodology, faculty development, as well as the international culture has to address the concerns of globalization and match international standards. The skill and values of a lawyer develop along a continuum which starts before entering law school, reaches formative and intensive stages during law school, and continues through the lawyer's professional career. It is technology which enables keeping pace with the dynamism with which law changes, technology which enables honing knowledge of cross-border legal developments with the impact of globalization. It is technology which enables dealing with the fallibilities in law and purposes, which enables impacting technological revolutions as well as observing changing legal definitions in concepts and principles as well as the environment. That is why we have seen the evolution in IT laws, biotechnology, international trade laws. Benjamin Franklin had said, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Therefore, why should we not reinvest and reinvest and reinvest? The current endeavor of Manupatra identifies and addresses several levels of not only the meaning of, but the challenges which globalization of legal education and the consequential dynamics, especially in growth and development of the legal profession is concerned, are entailed. Thank you.